What's going on, everybody? C4 here today, bringing you a new episode of some post-draft grades, and we're working on the NFC West. I'm going to re-record this just for the sake of you guys, not making you be here all day long. If a later round pick, I don't really have anything to say. I'm just going to throw out their grade, and then maybe if you want to get more info, I can respond to it in the comment section below. But like these videos are going on like 20 minutes a piece. I want to see if I can try to cut that at least in half, or at least 5-6 minutes off that, because you know. Not even just for your guys' ears, it's a lot easier for me and on my computer right now. We're still work in progress on my computer setup. So that being said, maybe 150 likes on this video. Let me continue. If you guys are, enjoying me giving my opinion for draft grades, I'm not a man working for the system like NFL Network or ESPN. Without further ado, we're gonna start with the Arizona Cardinals at pick 13. They got HAASON, REDDICK, the linebacker from Temple. I assume, looking at it, he's versatile. He played a little bit of defensive end. He can rush after the quarterback. Could play, will maybe compete with Marcus Golden for some snaps. But I think they probably got him after the Senior Bowl. He looked fairly solid playing inside, so he'll probably start inside with Deone Bucannon as a middle linebacker. I think very, very high upside here with HAASON, REDDICK. So I gave it a B. With room to grow for sure. He was a guy that was probably going to be, a late first, early second, and then he tested very well at the combine to pretty much make him a lock for the first round. And usually guys that really inflate their stock a little bit at the combine, I don't tend to give them a great grade, but I'm certainly pulling for HAASON, REDDICK, a Philly, Temple tough type player, and it's a good fit there for the Cardinals. But that's just a B for me. In the second round, I picked 36. They got BUDDA Baker, the safety from Washington. I'm giving this a B+. It's going to be interesting to see what they decide to do, as him and Honey Badger both are listed as free safeties and both can play the free safety spot. But I remember Honey Badger, for as much weight as you want to put into Pro Football Focus, I remember when he last actually played a lot of snaps at corner. He graded out like as the top corner in the NFL. So I assume with that being said, they're going to move Honey Badger to a cornerback role and then BUDDA Baker to free safety. But if they want to keep Honey Badger there, Baker was, maybe, potentially, the top nickel corner in this year's draft class. So a B+, great versatility player. Back there in the third round, 98, they got Chad Williams, wide receiver from Grambling State. I think he got kicked off from some school. I don't know what school he originally was at. But, level of competition, I'm giving it a C. I'm pleading ignorance. I guess there's upside. I want to trust Bruce Arians here. But I'm just going to plead ignorance where I didn't really know about this guy, to be completely honest with you. I heard about him, productive at Grambling, but it's Grambling. So I'm going to give that a C with upside. Fourth round pick 45, they got Dorian Johnson, the guard from Pitt. Really, really like that. He was one of my top 5 guards in this year's draft class. Getting that in the fourth round. Overall, a B grade. Fifth round, 157. They got Will Holden, the tackle from Vandy. Another guy, I don't know if you guys trust Spark scores too much, but he basically tested in the top percentile of all the offensive tackles. So there is some athletic upside there for him. So I give it a C+. Fifth round, 179. They got TJ Logan, the one of the fastest running backs at the combine this year. Probably going to be a special teamer. So that's a C. And then the sixth round at 208, they got this guy, Rudy Ford, pleading ignorance, just giving him a C- because I didn't think he was even going to get drafted from what I've been able to do some research on. And they got him in the 6th round. But overall, for the Arizona Cardinals, a B-, which is not a spectacular draft, but certainly not a poor draft. I think HAASON, REDDICK, BUDDA Baker, and Dorian Johnson will contribute here early on for them. Moved on to the LA Rams, who did have a first-round pick. So in the second round, at pick 44, they got GERALD Everett, the tight end from South Alabama. I think a guy like GERALD Everett, personally, when I made my original video, I thought they may want to use him at wide receiver. But with this couple of their other picks, maybe they still envision him as a tight end. Personally, I would rock and roll with Tyler Higbee. I was very high on Tyler Higbee last year, who was a 4th-round pick for the Rams. And I think he was kind of banged up. Now he's healthy. But if they want to keep GERALD Everett as a tight end, not a bad pick, but I'm just kind of questioning, really, is that where you want to go? Was that what you should invest in your top pick there, was a tight end? So I'm only giving that a C+, but certain upside. A lot of people compared him to a Brandon Marshall type, so eventually could transition to a wide receiver, and that'd be a good fit for a team that realistically needs an entire stable of wide receivers right now. Third round pick 69, they got Cooper Kupp, the wide receiver from Eastern Washington, B+. Debatably the best route running in this year's draft class. Great fit. Really only was there because of a pretty poor 40-yard dash time. Some scouts thought he was going to run a lot faster than what he did, and if he did get in those 4.4s, he would have been a second-round lock. Getting him in the third round, great pick for the Rams. Third round, pick 91, they got John Johnson, the safety from Boston College, giving that a C. I mean, they did need some depth at safety, but I think he's probably going to be special teamer. Third round special teamer. That's the 4th round. You got your special teamers in the 4th round. 4th round, 117. They got a great pick in Josh Reynolds, a wide receiver from Texas A&M. I'm giving that a B. Lots of upside, height, weight, speed with very solid hands. Pick 125 in the 4th round, they got SAMSON EBUKAM, who I had mocked to the Philadelphia Eagles in the 7th round. Looking around, it doesn't seem like any scouts, I say in quotations, I'm not including myself in there, by the way, had him as going as high as the 6th, so I like the prospect. He tested incredible at his pro day, but, you know, 2-round jump, a 2-round reach, I can only give that a C, but I'm giving it an arrow pointing up for upside. 6th round, 189, they got TANZEL, smart defensive tackle from Tulane, giving that a C. He'll be a depth guy. 6th round, 206, they got Sam Rogers, the fullback from Virginia Tech, C+. I don't really know what the scheme, if they even still run with the fullback. I know they still have Cody Harkey on the roster, but they have Sam Rogers and they tend to use him as a fullback. Nice little lead blocker there for Todd Gurley. In the 7th round at 234, they got EJUAN Price, the defensive lineman or edge rusher, if you want, from Pitt. Giving that a C+. I think it was tremendous value in the 7th round. He's a guy that can certainly make the final roster. Anytime you get those players in the 7th round, it's always a very nice bonus. So overall for the Rams, giving them a C+ for the draft. Not a bad one, not a great one. It's very tough to get a high rating when you don't have a 1st round pick. I think they have a 1st round pick next year. At least that's going to be nice for Rams fans, huh? Having 1st round picks. Moving on to the San Francisco 49ers, now led by John Lynch in his 1st draft. How did the Rook do? I think he did very well. Pick number 3, trading down from 2 to 3. They got great. I think they picked up 2 picks and a future pick just to move down 1 spot, and they were still able to select, I think, the guy that they're going to pick at 2 anyway, in Solomon Thomas, the defensive end from the University of Stanford. I'm giving this an A. One of the, scariest athletes in this year's draft class, and a team switching from a 3-4 to a 4-3. He's already got a lock in one of those defensive end spots. I can assume that it's going to be Solomon Thomas, and in the middle, Eric Armstead, DeForest Buckner, and on the other side, Aaron Lynch. And that's a pretty damn good front four, to be completely honest with you. Lots of youth, lots of upside. And then they traded back into the 1st round at the very end at pick 31 to select Reuben Foster, the linebacker from Alabama, who slipped. Originally, I was going to give this an A, but then you kind of have to, factor in why did he slip. There is clearly a reason why he slipped, so I made that an A- from an A. I'm going to judge the pick at face value, and if he can come in healthy, keep his head straight, having Navarro Bowman, Malcolm Smith, and Reuben Foster as your 3 linebackers, that is a great front 4, or front 7, sorry, for the 49ers in Kyle Shanahan's 1st year. Then in the 3rd round, pick 66, they got AHKELLO Witherspoon, the corner from Colorado, giving that a B+. I was really high on his prospect. I was kind of worried if he was going to go in the 2nd round. I kind of went to hurt his grade, but the 3rd round, that is a money round to select him, and I give him a B+. Plenty of upside. Still a little bit of a project player, but I could certainly see him by maybe in the end of camp being Rashad Robinson, Jimmy Ward, and Witherspoon as the big-time corners there for San Francisco 49ers. A very good young defense mixed in with some veterans. 3rd round pick, 104, they got C.J. Beathard, the quarterback from Iowa. Didn't get this pick whatsoever. I'm giving this a D. Beathard was probably, when I saw all the quarterbacks from tape last year, I know what he did in Iowa 2 years ago, but last year, man, I remember I saw Iowa play Florida. He was awful. He was god-awful. And then at the drills, when he was invited to the combine, he was just missing every single throw. I do not get this pick at all, giving it a D. 4th round, 121, they got Joe Williams, the running back from Utah, giving that a C, big-time power back, kind of replacing Sean Drome. 5th round, 146, George Kittle, tight end, really improved his draft stock at the combine, giving that a C+, can play a little bit at halfback, probably maybe rotate on defensive tackle, tight end, and with Kyle Juszczyk at the fullback spot. 5th round, 177, they got Trent Taylor, the slot wide receiver from LA Tech. Unreal production. Him and Zay Jones had video game-like numbers, I think. Look at their team. I assume that they're going to use Pierre Garçon probably as a slot, but I think a guy like Trent Taylor, Garçon is not the youngest guy anymore. The tread on the tires is thinning a little bit, so I really do like the upside of a Trent Taylor pick. 6th round, 198, they got DJ Jones, the defensive tackle from Ole Miss, giving that a B. That is a great pick. DJ Jones, I thought he'd probably go in the 4th round. Slip. There are some character concerns in terms of motivation, work rate, effort, but the talent is there. I mean, guy's almost 320, almost ran in the 4.4s, the 4.9s. The 4.9s, all right? Don't say, oh my God, the 4.4s. What we got? Don Terry Poe here again. But I really did like that pick in the 6th round. Their second 6th round pick, 202, they got PITA. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. I'm giving that a C. Yeah, giving that a C. Didn't really, no idea really who he is. And then the 7th round, 229, they got Adrian Colbert, who was, I believe, a corner from Miami who was supposed to go undrafted. So I'm just giving that another C-. For overall, a B+ for John Lynch and company here in the 49ers' first official draft. Very good grades. A lot of big pieces added on, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Maybe could have went offense. Maybe could have helped out the offense there a little bit, John Lynch. Huh? If they helped the offense out a little bit more, probably would have gave him a higher pick. Finishing up with the Seattle Seahawks, who traded out of the 1st round. So their first selection at pick 35 was Malik McDowell, the defensive tackle from Michigan State. Given that a B+, I think more so, I mean, it's tremendous value being able to get a guy like McDowell who's, you know, supposed to go in the first round. Some character concerns slip to the second. But yeah, go O-line. Go O-line. Give Russell Wilson some goddamn help there. So only a B+ for McDowell. Maybe some people would grade that a little bit higher, but again, O-line. I'm punishing them for not going O-line back-to-back. And then we had pick 58. They got Ethan Pocic, the center from LSU. He's 6'6". I think looking at their team right now, he's probably going to be a right tackle, to be completely honest with you. Justin Britt, for as much as, you know, you want to shit on the Seahawks offensive line, he probably was their best player last year on the offensive line. A guy like Pocic can play pretty much everywhere, I think, except probably left tackle. I think Pocic probably will start as a right tackle there. So that's a B+. Third round pick 90, they got Shaq Griffin, the corner from Central Florida. I think there's some upside there. He really helped himself at the combine, but the tape wasn't anything spectacular. So it certainly is a, you know, guy they got to mold into an eventual big time playmaker. You assume he's going to be the guy, the youngin that's coming up as the defense back there. The Legion of Boom gets older, so I'm giving it a C+. Third round pick 95, they got Delano Hill, the safety from Michigan, who I actually had mocked to them in my 7-round Seahawks mock draft, but I had him going in like the 5th round. So I think that was a little bit of reach here at 95, so I'm giving that a C. They're another third-round pick, 102. They got Nazir Jones, the defensive tackle from North Carolina. I'm giving that a C+. I think that's a very solid pick, and this is where I should have went. You know, that's where they should have went defense, not way all the way up at pick 35. But unless they really super great at Malik McDowell and think that he could be a starting D tackle next to Jaron Reed, and if that's the case, maybe I'm being a little too overcritical. Third round, 106, I got Amaro Darbo, the wide receiver from Michigan, who ran a very good combine. I think he ran like a 4.4 or something crazy like that. That's a C+. Fourth round at 111, you got Tedrick Thompson, the safety from Colorado. Really like him. He's going to be a guy that can potentially develop into something, but should be able to contribute on special teams right away. That's a C+. Sixth round, 187, they got Mike Tyson, coolest name, but he's, you know, can't body. That's a C. Sixth round, 210, Justin Senior, the Canadian boy from Mississippi State. Might have a chance, you know, battle out and get a spot on that roster as an offensive lineman, so that's a C. Seventh round, 226, they got David Moore, who I literally never heard of. Doesn't, like, very little information on him, so I'm giving him a D+. And then finish with the draft in the 7th round at 249. They got Chris Carson, the running back from Oklahoma State. You know, probably just a camp ice. So that's a C for an overall grade for the Seahawks of a C+. So that means the Niners and their B+, in my opinion, won the draft in the NFC West. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below if you agree or disagree. Or maybe you want to, like, try to sway my opinion on something. I'm certainly open to that. But thank you all for watching. This is your first time stopping by. Don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.